Alright, so, hey there, I'm making, tier list of Final Fantasy 2 guns here. So a few things first though. Weapons in, F tier and that I haven't used are gonna stay, down here, so yeah. Anyways, let's just get started. So, in A tier we have the pistol and the USP. So, the pistol, you know, it's not really that good as a starting weapon, but with the right setup and, you know, with like just the right play, you can make this thing really good. Personally for me though, you know, it's not that good, but it's really good for money and stuff like that. Also, I mean, it is the default weapon, so, you know, can't be too harsh on it. Then the USP. So, I would put it in S tier, but I don't know, it doesn't seem that viable to me, especially in the later rounds. This thing is really good, actually. It does a lot of damage, especially with headshots. Let's see, what else about it? You know, it's just really good. It's pretty versatile, fast attack speed, big magazine, a lot of ammo. Pretty good. And then, B tier, we have the Luger and the Revolver. So, the Luger is kind of like the pistol, except a little stronger and kind of meant for longer range. The scope is a really nice touch. So easier to aim with, yeah, but the DPS isn't as high as the pistols because, you know, it's meant for kind of like more damage with single shots, whereas the pistol, it has full auto, so it's a lot faster. But it's still pretty good. It has a higher headshot multiplier. But yeah, the Revolver, okay, so, you know, the Revolver is kind of like the Luger, except better, but it doesn't have the scope. And, you know, I mean, there's the magazine reload, decent recoil, it's pretty good. Then C tier, we have the M93R, so this thing is pretty good, but like the problem with it is that see, the thing is the burst fire kind of ruins it. Like, just, I don't know, something about the burst fire. Okay, you know what though, that being said, it is pretty strong though. It is strong, so I'll put it in B tier. But the burst fire, it just ruins it. Especially for me, because I'm a mobile player, so usually the burst fire breaks, and then instead of 3 bursts, it'll go up to like 6 or 9 bursts, which is really annoying. But yeah, other than that, it's, you know, it's fine. Okay, so, in D tier, actually, I'll put this up, actually, but yeah. So, okay, in C tier, we have the Python. So, Python is basically, the Desert Eagle, except, you know, not, like, it's a little bit better, though, because, I mean, the reload is a little bit faster, it does a little bit less damage, but, well, not a little bit, but it does less damage, but, I mean, it has HE rounds, which basically, explosive rounds, so you could probably use, explosive perks with it. And, you know, I mean, it's decent damage. It's not as annoying to use as the Desert Eagle. Because the Desert Eagle, in D tier, the recoil and iron sights are pretty bad. What else about it? It does kind of good damage, but, like, aiming with it is a little bit hard. Because, like I said, the iron sights are really bad. There's not much else I could say about it. So, okay, in F tier, which, you know, there is no F tier, which I'm just gonna leave the F tier guns in the bottom, like I said. We have the C96 and the Flintlock Pistol. So, the C96, god-awful. Just, you need a locking perk to use this thing. It is worse than the starting pistol. Like, everything about it. And then, if you want to use unlimited ammo in critical shots for this thing, You need to prestige it. Who would do that? Like, actually, who would do that? This thing is a sick joke. It's like the Luger if it weren't anywhere near as good as it is. Like, even the scope doesn't save it because the accuracy and the recoil is pretty bad on this thing. And the backup weapon, like, come on, pistol's better than this thing. Very disappointing, especially since you need a locking perk for it. You can't even use it on career mode, which, to be honest, I'm a little thankful for. Next, the Flintlock Pistol. This thing is basically the Flintlock Rifle, except kind of nerfed. So, it's the exact same model, actually, just shrunk down. And, I mean, it has the same headshot. Actually, no, it doesn't. It has a worse headshot multiplier. And the damage, it doesn't even do that much. This thing is just bad. Like, the accuracy, too. Even with the iron sights, accuracy is pretty bad. So, yeah. Alright, let's see. What else do we have here? Now we have the SMGs. So, yeah, the SMGs, they're pretty good. So, first we're starting off with the Thompson. In B tier, actually. So, the Thompson is, you know, it's a pretty good, versatile, all-rounder weapon. You know, big mags, pretty good reload time, decent ammo, the recoil and iron sights, and they're not that bad either. This thing's just, you know, your go-to weapon if you need something quick and effective. What else? Okay, the UMP-45, actually, it's going in A tier because it's pretty strong for what it is. Like, really, it's really strong. I mean, the mags are a little, you know, small. Actually, no B tier, actually. We're gonna switch to Thompson and them. I mean, it's strong, but, like, you know, it's a little bit slow, and the mags, you know, the mags are pretty small. Now in C tier, we got the MP40, so I've never really been a fan of this thing. Like, it just, I don't know, it's kind of like the Thompson, except not as good. That's basically all I have to say, just a nerfed Thompson. A tier, we also have the MP5. Okay, so this is a little debatable, but this thing is really good. Like that, I'm just gonna say flat out. The flashlight is really cool, even though it does nothing. It's just pretty cool, honestly. Also, since I I can't really see that well, it kind of helps out a little bit, the flashlight too. But the gun itself is pretty good. The headshot multiplier is 2.5, does a decent amount of damage. This thing is pretty good, just like as a cheap full automatic weapon. That's all I basically got to say about it. So next we got the micro Uzia. Yep, that's F tier right there. Only thing it's good for is reloading, refilling heavy sentries because the ammo count is so high. That is the only thing it's good for. As a weapon, it is complete garbage. It's barely good, a tiny bit, because of just how fast its attack speed is. But even then, like, come on, there are things with a lot faster attack speed. Also, not to mention, our next weapon, the SMG from the classic pack, is not too much better, but the thing, okay, so this goes with all the classic pack weapons. I love how they don't have any headshot multipliers because, you know, I'm lazy and I don't want to aim for the head. Oh, not only that, but all the classic pack weapons, they actually ignore armor too. So, yeah, that's a plus for this thing too, but yeah, it's actually a cheaper alternative to the micro Uzi's. It's kind of like the micro Uzi, except, you know, you don't have to aim for the head. It ignores armor. It has dual wield too. It has lifesteal, which, I mean, why would you want that? But yeah, yeah, you know, it's just kind of there. Then we have the Sterling, a C2. So yeah, the C2 again, same thing, kind of like with the MP40. Big mags, decent damage, decent iron sights. You know, not anything too special. The damage could be a little better though. But yeah, the Scorpion, F2. Scorpion sucks. This thing has pretty bad range, pretty bad accuracy. The fire is useless on it. The damage is pathetic. Like, the fully automatic pistol does more damage than this thing. Like, seriously, don't use it. Don't wait. Fire and ice pack is disappointing in general. Like, seriously, this thing is god awful. Then we have the P90 C2. This, I don't know. Something about it just isn't good with me. Like, I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt though. It does have a pretty high critical chance actually if you get the iron sights with it, the iron sight upgrade, and then yeah, it's good. Pretty good with the critical chances, and you know the mags are okay, but I don't know, the damage decent, not that good. Also the dual wield is a little bit useless on it. But yeah, let's see, what else do we have? Okay, the Vector. So, I'm gonna put the Vector in B. Okay, so it's kind of like the P90, you know, decent critical chance. It has the fire upgrade too, and I'm pretty sure the fire rate is faster than it. Also, good recoil, good iron sights, good damage actually too, surprisingly. You know, it's kind of just better P90. So next we have the assault rifle. So we're gonna be starting off with the M16, which you know, it's C2. I mean, you know, it's the cheapest one you could get. So what do you really expect? I mean, it's pretty decent, but the problem is that, like, same thing with the burst fire. Actually, the burst fire is not that bad, actually, especially with the high attack speed. And it does a lot of damage, actually, like, per every single shot. It can do, with headshot, like, 1,500 damage. Actually, that being said, this thing has pretty good damage, so it's gonna go in B2, actually. Also, the burst isn't even that big of a problem either. Yeah, I would actually say the burst actually helps this thing, because it's really strong actually. So next we have the UG, whatever you want to call this thing. Yeah, no, it's pretty bad. I've always thought of it as the DMR if it weren't as good. Like, it has bigger mags, it has scatter shot, it has, yeah, a lot of this stuff, but just not as good. Like, yeah, the scope helps it a little bit, but I don't know, something about it just doesn't sit right with me, not that good. Okay, let's see, so, okay, the AK-47. C2 too. This is the most vanilla plainest gun you could ever get. Like, nothing good, like, nothing's too good about it, nothing's too bad about it, you know. It has full auto, it has somewhat high headshot multiplier, good damage, good critical chance, good mags. Just everything about it is kind of decent, you know. What else? Okay, so the AK-74, the gun itself, I'm gonna put it in B2 actually, cause it's pretty strong actually. Like, you know, it's pretty good actually. You know, I mean, it has a little bit of recoil, but the iron sights are okay. Damage and headshot multiplier, they're okay too. It's basically the AK-47, except a little bit better. But that being said, it's not that much better, so, you know, barely any higher. Alright, so we have the M4. Okay, I'm gonna put the M4 in. Actually, I'm gonna put it in C2. So, okay, I'm a little biased with this because I hate guns with a really high rate of fire. Like I don't. Not a fan of them. They're too, like, I don't know, just hard to control, especially on mobile. But that being said, though, this thing is kind of weak. You know, it does have large mags and plenty of ammo, but still, it is not that good. The fire rate, though, saves a little bit. I would put it in D2, but, you know, it's not that bad. At the same time, not that good. Same thing with the AK-47, you know? Okay, next is the Car-15, the gun itself again. C2. It is just the AK-74, the gun itself, except not as good, you know. Also, the headshot multiplier isn't as high. Next, we have the Scar. Anyway, the Scar H is gonna go in A2, actually. It has the scope. The scope really helps it out. You know, this thing has pretty decent stats all across, especially the damage too. The damage and the headshot multiplier, and the recoil, the scope, the mags, the reload time, all of it is good. Like, this would be one of the few guns here that I would consider bringing into the late game. Just because of how good it is. But yeah. Now let's see. Now we're on to the shotgun. So, first of all, we have the Stakeout. C2. You know, the Stakeout, you know, it has a high rate of fire. It's pretty weak though. The accuracy also isn't the best, even with the iron sights on. Reload time, a little slow. The mags are pretty decent. But yeah, it's, you know, it's not that bad. Yeah, that's pretty much all you have to say about it. So, alright. The sawed-off shotgun. I'm gonna put it in C2 too. Like, it's like the double barrel, but nerfed, kind of. Like, yeah, the accuracy isn't that good. You know, it has fire, which doesn't really help it too much. It has critical chance, which, you know, a little unique for a shotgun, but it doesn't help it either. The reload time on this thing is pretty slow. The dual wield is kind of useless. The damage is pretty low. And the ammo count, you know, I mean, yeah, this is just not that good. The double barrel is better. Speaking of double barrel, the double barrel goes in A2 because take everything I said about the sawed-off, besides the dual wield, it's just way better. A lot better. You know, it's a lot stronger, better ammo, pretty fast reload time. The accuracy is pretty decent. I mean, there's a lot of recoil, but that doesn't really matter. Alright, so next we have the R87. No, the R8070. Whatever you call this thing. Yeah, no, it's D2. This thing, like, it has high damage, yeah, but the accuracy is, oh my god, the accuracy is pretty garbage. It is slow, like really slow. The speed is comparable to probably the Flintlock Rifle, and I don't think there are any attack speed upgrades. But yeah, it's, you know, not that good. And this thing might actually have the lowest range for any gun in the game. Like, I'm not even joking. It's just not that good. All the stats are just below average. Alright, next we have the trench gun. Yeah, same thing. The accuracy with iron sights too is pretty bad. Like, it is not that good at all. the damage is pretty high, and you could get extra pellets for more shots to come out with each shot. But yeah, though, it's still, the attack speed is abysmal, and this thing is just way too sluggish. Also, the range is, you know, not the best. Alright, so next we have the classic pack shotgun. You know, I'm gonna put it in B tier actually. You know, the accuracy is pretty decent. You know, the reload time is kind of fast. It has armor steal, and it ignores armor, so yeah, the damage is, you know, it's alright. I don't know, just kind of decent. You can spam it a little bit. The reload time is pretty nice, yeah. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Alright, so I'm gonna alright, let's see. So the M1014. Where would I put this? I think, you know what? I think A tier actually, because this thing is fast and it has full auto. The reload speed is very, very fast. So yeah, this thing has some pretty good spam potential, and also does, you know, pretty decent damage. Good ammo count too. The iron sights are good too, and the recoil is pretty low. So yeah. Alright, now we have the AA-12 C tier. This is kind of a disappointment. Like, yeah, you could spam it, yeah, but like, I don't know. I've never been a fan of this thing. Also, it has a little bit less shots than most shotguns, so yeah. But this thing, I don't know, it's kind of weak. The accuracy could be improved on. And the Kimbo, this thing is annoying. Like, it's annoying to use with the accuracy. Like, all shotguns have bad accuracy, but this one, just especially with the Kimbo, really bad accuracy. Well, not that bad, but you know what I'm saying. I just a little biased with this one too. You know, it's pretty good for money. Like, you don't really use this thing to kill. You use this thing for hit money, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But as a killing weapon, you know, it's not effective at all. Unless you just absolutely spam this thing like crazy, but the ammo count says otherwise. So, what else? So we have, okay, the USS 812. I said that wrong. The USAS 12, I mean. Yeah, those CT as well. There are a lot of CT guns, but anyway, this thing is kind of like the AA-12, except, just, actually, no, this thing is good. Yeah, this thing is pretty good. That's full auto. The recoil and iron sights, you know, I'm not really a fan of them, but, you know, it's good. It only has, 6 pellets with it, so it has the least amount of pellets out of any shotgun. But it does high damage, and especially when you use the HE rounds. Yeah, this thing maxed out with HE rounds. It's a monster. It does like 4,000 damage per shot, somewhere around there. So yeah, you know, it's pretty good. We should be on to the rifles now. Alright, so DMR, first S tier. This thing is amazing. Like, it's the UG, but like way better. The damage is high. It's fast. Its mags are pretty good. The ammo count is high. As someone who can barely aim and use a sniper, this thing is amazing, even for me. So, this thing, it destroys, like, especially with headshots too. It just destroys everything, even when wraith hunting on the harder difficulties too. This thing is still very, very great. I would definitely recommend it. So, what else do we have? The Flintlock Rifle, okay. You know, it's actually not that bad. I'm gonna put it in B tier. Like, the attack speed and the reload speed and the ammo count, they were not the best, but the damage and the headshot multiplier, which I believe is around 4 or 4.5, it's really good. Pretty good damage output. Yeah, that's basically all I have to say. The damage. Oh yeah, also though, this thing, it's not really something you want to bring into late game, kind of early game setup weapon. But yeah. Alright, so the Car 98K. You know, I feel sad, but I have to put it in detail. It's strong. It's pretty strong, yeah. But the problem is, oh yeah, also, like, yeah, though, it has a god awful accuracy. Like, even with aiming, the accuracy is very, very bad. In hip firing this thing, you might as well forget it. Like, the accuracy goes into the negatives. This is that bad accuracy. Good thing is though that, you know, I mean, it has center mass, which means if you shoot a zombie in the torso, it will do headshot damage. And that being said, it does have good headshot damage and torso damage, but it's still just, the accuracy ruins it. Like, seriously. Especially when aiming, because you think you're gonna actually hit everything, but no. Alright, so I'm gonna do something a little debatable. M1 Grand A tier. A lot of people sleep on this thing. Like, yeah, you know, it's not the best, you know, but for a somewhat early game, this thing is pretty amazing. Like, good mags, iron sights, and the recoil, you know, I've been a fan of, actually. Like, despite the iron sights being kind of bad, I like it. Like, it's fun to use. The damage is not the highest, but it does have full auto, and it has pretty large mags. Good critical chance, good ammo. You know, all around, pretty decent. Next we have the intervention. I don't know how to call this. I don't know what this thing's name is, but yeah, me too. You know, it's your classic marksman rifle, just very high damage, very high headshot multiplier, a little bit slow, high ammo, just a camper's dream right here. Especially with wraiths, it does a lot of damage. Also in A tier, classic pack sniper rifle. So this thing is a monster, you know. Ignores armor, pretty high damage. Also, initially it doesn't have headshot damage, but you know, you can actually buy upgrades to get headshot damage, just boosting this thing's damage even more. So it does near 4,000 damage per shot, which, you know, that's pretty good. Sorry, but the attack speed, it seems slow, but it really isn't. Like, the attack speed is good, and you have upgrades for the attack speed too. Only problem I would say with it is, you know, the reload speed is a little bit slow. But it's not even that big of a drawback. It's still just amazing. Same thing though, kind of like a marksman rifle, but you know, not really any headshots. Also, it has high critical chance too. And decent mags, so yeah, A tier is where it belongs. Next we have I think the M24. I forgot the name. It's in C tier. Like, the damage is not that good. The damage is just decent at best. Yeah, you can use a scope with it, but even with the scope, aiming with this thing, I don't know, feels weird. Also, it has high critical chance, like really high. Like, I'm pretty sure it can go all the way up to 50% critical chance. So yeah, that's really high, but You know, that being said, this thing just, I don't know, it's not really that good. But I mean, for a marksman rifle, you know, it's okay. Then in A tier, we have the PSG-1. So, this thing is sort of like the DMR, except, you know what, actually, I'm gonna put this thing in S2. It's the DMR, except it has really high damage too, like really, really high damage. And it has full auto too. Carries more ammo than the DMR. I'm pretty sure the mags are about the same size. A lot more damage actually. I'm not knocking off the DMR though. This thing's just the DMR, except kind of a little bit better. Like just kind of all of the stats about the DMR boosted, except recoil and reload speed. Other than that, this thing is amazing. Like really, it just, I don't know, it is. Oh yeah, wait, where's the M82 also? Here it is, yeah. So, yeah, this thing also belongs in S tier. This thing, you know, you could spam it. It has incredibly high damage, like seriously high damage. It's amazing for taking out really high health enemies. Like the boss, berserkers, you know. It also has ignore armor and center mass. So this thing is amazing. You know, the recoil and the reload speed aren't the best, and the ammo count, but the mags, everything else about it, just amazing. Alright, so now we're on to the melee weapons. Let's see, melee weapons. Alright, here they are. So, the starter knife. I'm gonna put it in F tier. Just, it's not that good. Like, yeah, it has lifesteal. You can get a little bit extra money with an upgrade per kill. This thing isn't that strong. It's a little bit slow. I mean, it's the starting knife. What do you expect? Now in C2, we have the baseball bat. So, I would say this thing you should not bring to late game at all. Like, probably weight 7-ish is the highest you could go with this thing. On harder difficulties, this thing is more of an early melee setup for basically melee mains. I will say though, the overhead stun and the damage, you know, they're pretty good. The bleed is absolutely useless, but yeah, you know, I mean, it's good. It's good, only for early game though. So in D tier, actually, I'm gonna put the majority of melee weapons, which include the military axe, the fire axe, the sword, and the cutlass. All of these, they're just kind of there. Like, you don't really use them. Like, the axe is, I would say, maybe like, you know, the damage is not that good at all. Probably could be used for people who want to try tank, because you get resistance when you hold this thing, which is, I think, 20% resistance. But that's not that good though. As a weapon, it's useless. Same with the fire axe. It's basically the same, except with armor steal and fire critical chance, which is bad. The sword, it is bad, except it has lifesteal, but it's still bad. And then the cutlass, it is bad. All of them are just bad. Yeah, none of these are really viable late game. I will also put them. No, I can't do that actually. I don't have the machete actually, because I don't have the survivalist pack. But from the stats, it seems pretty bad as a weapon. But you could use this thing with Juggernaut strategy, because I believe it has the highest resistance in the game for holding a weapon. So yeah, that is pretty good. So yeah, hold on. Okay, yeah, back. So yeah, I just had to do something real quick. Well, yeah, like I was saying, the machete, it seems only good for a tank roll. Alright, so I'm actually the katana A2 actually, because even as someone who doesn't use melee, this thing's good. This thing is pretty good. Now it has really high damage, really high attack speed. You know, the critical chance is pretty good too. And the range is good too, but you know, I don't really use melee, so I can't judge it too hard. I can't really say that much else about it, but one of my friends who uses melee, yeah, they were amazing at it. Like, they can melee up to like wave 15, and it's still very viable. So yeah, next we have the Sledgehammer. Okay, the Sledgehammer. No, F tier. It's like the katana. The damage is comparable to it, except it is a lot slower. So it's pretty bad. Also, it has the overhead explosion thing. That's useless. Alright, so D tier, the chainsaw. Like I said, I don't use melee. Problem with the chainsaw is though, the hitbox is very weird. Like, something about it just sometimes doesn't attack zombies, like, even when I'm just spamming it. Like, doesn't really work out that well. What else about it? You know, the ammo too. You have to constantly watch this thing's ammo, and it just eats through it like it's nothing. Also, it has a tiny bit of lifesteal and holding resistance, but you know, it was still not that good. So yeah. What else? I went to the launchers now, so yeah. So in A tier, I'm gonna put both versions of the M203, which include the one on the Core 15 and the original one. They're both the exact same, so yeah. Basically got the same exact stats, except the Core 15 one is slightly slower, and I believe more accurate, but yeah, you know, they have pretty high damage. You know, yeah, just thing is though, the accuracy is pretty uncontrollable. Like, no matter what, the accuracy is never good at all. Even with like sniper mods and stuff like that, it's not that good. Car 15 launcher, like I said, it's literally the M203, the exact same, all the stats, pretty much just the same. Okay, now the M79 S2, even though it got nerfed a lot of times, this thing is still amazing. Just really high reload speed, high damage, good radius, high ammo count. This thing is just, you know, it's amazing. Just your jack of all trades launcher, and it's strong too. Yeah, so yeah, this S2. Then A2, rocket launcher. Oh well, no, the RPG. When we're talking about the RPG, yeah. So, basically, it's kind of like the M79, except a lot stronger. The problem is, though, it's a lot slower, less ammo, the radius is pretty much the same. Like, the thing about the M79 is just its ability to, like, be able to kill a lot more efficiently in groups because of how fast it is. And, yeah, the RPG kind of lacks that. So yeah, I'm not gonna knock it off too much though. S tier, OG6. It's the M79, except a little weaker, but has a lot more spam potential, especially in groups. If you have a full server of people with OG6s, you could go very, very high, which actually made it to wave 55, I believe, just with 5 other people and me who were just spamming this thing like crazy. It's amazing. But yeah, that being said, it's S tier, very good. Ammo is a little bit low, a little bit on the low side, and also, it has bleed damage, which, you know, kind of useless. Reload speed is not the best, not the worst though. But yeah, also, it has full auto, which, you know, it has full auto and pretty high rate of fire. So yeah, that's all positive. Let's see, what else do we have? The classic pack rock. Yeah, the classic pack rocket launcher. Okay. Yeah, D2. I am sorry. Like, I love this thing. It's amazing, but it has extremely high damage. Actually, no. That being said, it doesn't have that high damage. Like, the damage is barely higher than the RPG-7. But yeah, this thing, like I said, is strong, but it has a lot of drawbacks. First of all, ever since light mags have stopped working with launchers and weapons without detachable magazines, this thing is absolutely slow. Like, the reload speed, like, it's not that abysmally slow, but still, it's nowhere near as fast as it be. What else about it? The velocity, you could, like, when you have a launcher where you can actually see the projectile traveling to the place you shot it, that's a little bit sad. Like, that, why would, just why? You could literally see the rocket traveling, which, that's just sad, man. Like, the rockets are so slow. Even with the velocity upgrades, they're not that fast at all. What else? Oh yeah, the ammo efficiency. 25 ammo per rocket. That's a lot. And you have 20 rockets in this thing. So it's 500 ammo. To people listening, it's kind of a lot. But hey, it's just a little nitpicky. Alright, what else? The radius is pretty god-awful. Now, this radius is comparable to the M203 unupgraded. This thing has a radius of 16. So you could probably kill only like 4 zombies at a time at best with the radius that tiny. It's just, I don't know, it's just a failure. This is the best way I can explain it. It's not that good at all. So, alright, next, the machine guns. Alright, so the bar, it's C tier. The bar, I don't know, just a very plain machine gun. It doesn't feel like a machine gun at all. It feels more like an assault rifle because it has pretty small mags, decent ammo. It has kind of high damage, but recoil and iron sights, they're pretty bad. Just, I don't know, it's just not that good at all. Same thing with the RPK. It's just the AK-47 with more recoil, more damage. What else? Yeah, more damage, more recoil. It also has fire, which doesn't really help it at all. Bigger mags, a little bit more ammo, I think. And yeah, that's just, I don't know, it's decent-ish at best. Alright, so the M249. I've never really used this thing, but from all the times I've used it, which are a few, yeah, it's me. Like, it has high damage, big mags. Yeah, it's just a plain machine gun, you know. Alright, so the M642. What? Oh, the MG42. I got confused for a second there. I forgot the name, but yeah. MG42, it's A tier. Like I said, I hate high attack speed weapons, but this thing, even though it has a really high attack speed, it doesn't bother me that much when I use it. Mainly because it has a really high rate of fire, almost comparable to the minigun, but it's a little, you know, a little bit weaker. So it has scatter shot too, so yeah, you can basically do double damage. And yeah, no, this thing is really strong. Good iron sights. The recoil is a little bit annoying though, because of how fast it is, so you're not gonna be able to aim with this thing too well. But yeah, that being said, it's very fast, so very, very good. Alright, now, M60. I would argue it's actually S2. Yeah. It has high recoil, the iron sights are good. Good ammo, good magazine size. A little bit slow of a reload speed. Really high damage per shot. That's everything I want in my machine guns. Like, this thing is, you know, it's pretty accurate. The damage is so high. Like, seriously, just... It has a slow rate of fire, too, which makes it a lot more controllable, even with the high recoil. This thing is my gun in the game. Just all because of all those factors. It's amazing. Seriously, you should try it, and yeah, if you don't like it, then yeah, you don't like it. But I just love it. Also an S tier, the minigun. I mean... What is there to say? It's a minigun. Just like the description of it. It's a minigun. What's else to say? That's all. So the laser guns. No, actually, I should give a small explanation about the minigun. So yeah, basically, minigun. Yeah, you know, it's a minigun. It has scatter shot. Really high rate of fire. It has weak damage, but the weak damage is. You know, it's drowned out by how fast the fire rate is and the scatter shot. The accuracy and the recoil could use the work, but they're still amazing. Just because of the DPS this thing has. And the mags and ammo, really good. The reload speed for a minigun, it is fast, actually. It's surprisingly fast. So, yeah. All that is S2. Alright, now we got the laser guns. So, alright, laser guns. Most of the plasma weapons are a D tier. They're just like all of the laser guns have this one problem where yes, they have infinite ammo, but they tend to be a lot weaker than a normal gun. And this is kind of a problem. These two, the plasma grenade launcher and the plasma rocket launcher, they're not that bad with like damage and stuff like that, but just, I don't know, the slow reload speed, the damage isn't that high, just the radius, not that good. Yeah, also, the Lacy Minigun, D tier. Everything about the normal minigun that is wrong is the embodiment of the laser minigun. No scatter shot, pretty weak, not that fast of an attack speed. Yes, you can make an argument, infinite ammo, but when the reload speed is slow, like, it takes forever to reload this thing. The magazines aren't as high, just, it's bad. Like, compared to the minigun, this thing is completely outshadowed. Not to mention how ridiculously expensive this thing is. Its price is twice as much as the normal minigun, so you expect it to be twice as good, but no, it's like half as good. And not only that, the upgrades are really expensive, and just to stick this thing, you have to pay 100,000 just for this thing to be available on the mobile shop. So you're paying 350,000 just to get this thing. And there's only one in stock, so chances are someone else might buy this thing, and then you have to save up again. It's just annoying to use. Also, the accuracy is bad. Well, no, it's better than the normal minigun, but still, this thing is just very garbage. That's all I can describe this thing as, just very garbage. Alright, so, energy sword, C2. I don't really... The energy barely helps at all. Barely does anything. The damage is kind of high, yeah, but no lifesteal, and yeah, you move a little bit faster with the energy, but that doesn't help it at all. So, yeah, C2. Alright, energy rifle. I'm gonna put it in A2. Like, with a fully charged shot, it does very, very high damage. And especially against special enemies who take 2 times as much damage with this thing. Yeah, very, very high damage. But since it can't be used with light mags, this applies to the Lacy Minigun too, actually. The reload speed is a little bit slower, so now you just can't spam this thing. And also, aiming with this thing is pretty hard without the scope. So yeah. But that being said, it has amazing accuracy, and the recoil is a little bit annoying, but, you know, that's... yeah. And then, pretty much the rest of the laser guns are going in C2. Like, actually, no. Hold on. All of them in C2, except the laser rifle, because this thing, it is very strong, very fast, too. Very good magazine size, even reload speed is good, and the scope. This thing's just decent, you know. Yeah, the Lacy Shotgun is going in B2. Only how high the damage is, the damage output. Ever since light mags couldn't be used on this thing, it is a little bit annoying to use because just how slow it is. But that being said, it is very, very high damage. Also, though, a little problem I have with this thing. Same thing with the M93R, whatever it was called, the pistol, the burst fire pistol. Same thing with this thing. The burst fire tends to just completely break, and it uses all shots at once per burst, so it's even more annoying to use. But yeah, just the damage is very high, which keeps it out of D2 actually, because that's where I was gonna put it. Actually, no, pistol, you go on D2. This thing is just 2 burst fire. Why would you do that? It sucks. Low damage, pretty bad decent accuracy. The iron sights are just garbage on this thing. And yeah, it's just a very low damage. Like, yeah. Then C2 Laser SMG, same problems as the laser pistol, except this thing has basically no recoil. The iron sights are a lot better. Very good accuracy, and it is fully automatic, but it's still very weak. That being said, though, it is, you know, not the worst, not the best. So yeah, it's just kind of there. Alright, now all the special weapons. Let's see. Alright, so F2 flare gun. The radius is garbage. The fire garbage. The damage for hitting. You can use explosive perks on it, and you know it does decent damage. But this thing, even on early waves, is very bad. And also, sometimes the shots bug out and they go through the zombies. So that's like when your gun shots go through the enemies, you know that's just not a good thing. Low ammo. Yeah, that's basically all I have to say about it. Also, the velocity is a little annoying. Also, F2, the ice rifle, very strong. Problem is, the accuracy, the velocity, the range, and the reload speed are all very, very bad. Yeah, that's like the headshot damage and the normal damage, very good, but just the fact that like this thing's reload speed and all that other stuff, the recoil, it's just a chore to use, like seriously. Also in F2, wait, no, yeah, okay, wait, so the crossbow, the crossbow goes in D2. It's good, but the only way you can use this is with headshots, which, you know, you can't always do that, especially with armored zombies, like heavy armored and helmet zombies especially. You're gonna have a tough time with those. This thing's damage is very weak, but the whole point is headshots. And, you know, like I said, can't always do that. So, because of this thing's over-reliance on headshots, yeah, it's, D2. Also, Tesla Rifle, D2 as well. Actually, no. I'm gonna put it in C. It's pretty strong. But problem is that, you know, just the accuracy, the range, not that good. The recoil, the reload speed, also not that good. You know, it has a scope, but that doesn't help when the range is pretty bad. I will say though, the forks are very unique, and they have pretty good range too. The forks are very fun to use, actually. Like, this gun is a very fun gun, but not that effective. Actually, you know what? No. I'm gonna put it B2. Like, it's not that bad, but it's not something that you're gonna want to use to kill zombies, per se. So, yeah. Compound bow, I mean, I've never used it, because, again, no survivalist pack. Blunderbuss. F2, it's just god-awful. The whole idea of this thing, shooting all the shots at once. There actually used to be a bug where only one shot would render, so only one shot would actually do damage, the rest did nothing. But that got patched. Even then, it's still useless. All of the stats are absolutely awful. I would argue this is actually the worst gun in the game, because of how bad all of the stats are. Like, this is the worst gun in the game. Just how garbage everything is. Everything in the Ninjas vs. Pirates pack is garbage. Like, why would you use any of this stuff? Why? I feel salty that I paid for that. But, yeah, whatever. Side rant over. Yeah, like I said, F2 garbage. Okay, so. Okay, I did not mean to move that. What did I just do? Hold up. Okay, whatever. Whatever, that's fine. Okay. So, Flamethrower. D2. You never really use these weapons for their after effects, like let's say gas can, molotovs, any fire. You never use it for the after fire. Like, you know, gas cans. They do 600 damage per every, I think, 0.2 seconds, somewhere around there. The problem is, though, it has the fire, yes, and the fire does high damage. It has 3000 fire damage. That tiny bit of the DPS from the gas can. So, basically, the pressure damage is what does a lot of the DPS. And this thing, the flamethrower, it has very high fire damage, but like I said, you're not gonna use that because it's a small portion. So the pressure damage is actually what does the most DPS, and the pressure damage on this thing is pretty low. The range is low. The magazine size and the reload speed and the ammo are all bad. That's just, yeah. And then, and C2, the freeze thrower. It's ironic. This thing, everything I said about the flamethrower is actually better. The pressure damage, the range, the magazine size, the reload speed, the ammo, all of it is actually better with the freeze thrower than the flamethrower. And it slows the zombies down and freezes them. I never really used it for that, but it's basically the flamethrower without the fire effect, and it slows zombies down, so it's actually better. Which is very ironic, because you'd expect the opposite. And then A2 actually is going to be the M2 flamethrower. Now, actually, yes, it did get nerfed, so basically it is everything the flamethrower should have been. Very high pressure damage, very, very high range. Not that high, but, you know, Range is about 3 times more as the normal flamethrower's range. Better pressure damage, lower fire damage, but like I said, fire damage is useless with these things. Also, it has a lot more ammo, and you don't need to reload this thing, so yeah. No reloading is required. It has high rate of fire. Everything about this thing is amazing. Problem is though, it did get nerfed, so there is actually a cooldown to this thing. So if you keep on holding the fire button, then after a while you're gonna overheat it, and then you're gonna have to wait for it to cool down until you can start firing again. Even with that said though, it's still good. So yeah. And then in D tier, D tier is the for the AK-74. The normal flamethrower is already bad enough as it is. So making a miniature version of that, do you think that's any better? No. Nowhere near better. The range, everything about this somehow manages to be even worse. Like, seriously. This thing is useless. The range is half. Pretty sure all the stats are half. Like, just don't use this thing. But yeah, that being said, there are all the guns on the tier list. So, yeah. Yeah, this is, I would say, pretty accurate tier list to my thoughts. But yeah, took kind of a while to make this, because I had to kind of use all the guns to get my thoughts on them and everything. But yeah, a lot of these are meant for late game or harder difficulties. But, some of these are, especially the DMR. DMR is a god. But yeah, what do you guys think? Yeah, no one's gonna view this video anyway also. So yeah, longest video I've made so far, also voice reveal.